I think like the filming process, my family was involved in it. And
Right.
like that was super fun. I saw like relatives I hadn't seen in like 6 years and they were like driving us to a location or like helping us buy food. Like people were so nice. And I think that part was very healing. But I think also like the story itself about kind of unreconcilable like relationships and stuff. By the end of the filming process, I guess like it did help me make peace with some of it, but also made me feel okay with not making peace with it, if that makes sense. You're starting out
Truly, oh my
your
God.
journalism career. I'm starting my film career.
We're gonna have to circle back to this in like 2 years
Yeah,
and see
yeah,
where we're
see what
both
we
at.
did.
Jolina, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm adjusting to the time difference. I just moved to LA.
Yes.
But yeah,
And you moved from Virginia?
yes, Charlottesville. So I
Oh,
went to UVA undergrad, so that's
yeah.
where.
And you're starting your first semester like coming up of your
Yeah,
MFA
starting
program?
my grad student at USC film.
That is amazing. Congratulations. So, for those who do not know, Jolina is a director, a producer, a writer, a cinematographer, an editor, and you act, according to IMDb.
A little bit, but it's not. It's actually so not true. I'm. That's not my like primary skill set. I'll say.
I say all that to say you are the jack of all trades filmmaker.
Yeah, I feel like independent filmmaking definitely requires that, and like you end up doing a lot of stuff on set. So
But do you feel like it is necessary because this is your career and there will come a point where you don't have to do all of those roles, but knowing how to do it, do you think that that feels somewhat necessary?
I think so. I mean, I think most people in the film industry, you start working on the bottom of the pyramid. If you understand like where a PA is coming from, and you like treat everyone with kindness, and like I don't know, like understand what where people are at, that'll really help you throughout your career. Even though, I mean, I would hope I'm not doing everything forever.
And I don't think it's sustainable. For me right now with Sunday Morning Juice, I'm doing a lot too, and I'm like maybe one more year.
Yeah, because you also make like, not only are you writing something, you're also making like a video, a kind of documentary style of like everything.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that is a
Really.
lot.
It's a lot. But I mean, it's definitely necessary for us, especially we have like the stamina because we're young. As we get older, we won't have all that energy to do all of that.
I completely agree. Like, I think the goal is to be like, even if it's not like direct, I think director's my end goal right now, but if I end up becoming a cinematographer or something, like definitely something that where I am have a single task that I'm focused on.
And that only makes like the art better just because you can put all of your energy in that direction. But you just had the world premiere of your narrative film, Stories of the Return, at the Asian American International Film Festival in New York City. Please tell me how that experience was for you.
It was like the first like festival that this was screened at. It had gotten into some festivals, but like there weren't like there's like online screening or like the screening is like was it Starlight International Film Festival? And I think it's in Poland. And I was like, I don't know, like they're not funding my trip to Europe, so I don't think I can go. So it was
Right.
like the first like screening of my film where it wasn't like a friends and family screening that I could go to. Seeing people see my film was like a really magical experience, and like the team there was like super like wholesome and caring. The questions that were asked at the Q&A, like it was very like well organized. Yeah.
The hosting was top tier. It felt like
Mhm.
very hospitable.
Yeah, for sure.
Stories of the Return follows a director who's comes from America to Taipei in search of a deeper connection to her heritage and to bring her late mother's script to life. So your mother, who's still with us, she was a writer, and this was
Hmm.
sort of based on your real life. It was based on your mother's real script. How did you decide to use your mother's work to help you create your beautiful piece of art?
I guess I like kind of uncovered the script that she had written in grad school, in when I was in college, and I was like, this is really good. And then she didn't really think that, and I think like that kind of touched around this kind of idea of like because the place is I've been to Taiwan throughout my childhood, but because I didn't grow up there, like reading it, there's a bit of mystery and magic because I wasn't there.
Right.
And I think like that's kind of what the film is surrounding and kind of like revolving around. And like, yeah, like reading that, I wanted to explore that piece of writing in a different way. Like I didn't want to just like, oh, like I have the script. Well, first of all, it's like a feature, like 1 hour 20 minute would be really long, but also like I guess I wanted to explore that piece of writing in a different way. Um, yeah, kind of layered, generational, nested. Yeah.
Right, right. I during the Q&A, you said basically the grief that you can't build those connections with your family who lives in Taiwan the same way just because so much time passes before you can see them, and I totally relate to that too. Do you feel like creating this project has helped you heal a version of yourself or that version that feels that disconnect?
Um, hmm. I think like the filming process was so like my family was involved in it. And I think
Right.
like that was super fun. I saw like relatives I hadn't seen in like 6 years and they were like driving us to a location or like helping us buy food. Like people were so nice. And I think that part was very healing. But I think also like the story itself about kind of unreconcilable like relationships and stuff and like I like by the end of the filming process, I guess like it did help me make peace with some of it, but also made me feel okay with not making peace with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely seems healing because it's not like you can rewind time and go back and make up for it. And if you could, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. So there's a lot that you have to just resolve within yourself.
And my mom actually, she talked about this memory she had when we were there actually. So like my grandpa's house is like in Taipei, but more like a not like the really urban like center like metropolis kind of center of Taipei, but it's more on the outskirts. And then my uncle's apartment is like a 10-minute walk from his house. And there's this strip that's like kind of there's no shops and it's like a school on one side and it's like a I guess like a military base or
Yes.
military center on the other side and there's like it's pretty empty and my mom told me later like after we had finished filming that one of the days she was walking from she was usually we walk together but for some reason it was just her that day she was walking from my uncle's apartment where we were staying to my grandpa's house and she was thinking about how if she like never left Taiwan when she was 29, she would like never know more than that. Like she would never know more than this I guess like smaller world of just like the city and this street in particular where she had grown up and like had stayed for the first 29 years of her life. And I just thought that was so interesting because when I was in college, like I had written grants to go to Taiwan to film. So like for me, it was like the complete opposite of like wanting to reach back and like I think for her like she's really glad that she moved to America but for me like it's like we're like kind of looking at each other.
That's an insane mirror. When I was watching the film and when I watched it back also, the director was running into issues with the actors basically like not feeling like she had enough culture. You How does that play into your own life?
um hmm I definitely felt that like I guess like also like people in Taiwan really care about like skincare and sun care and I should care more because skin cancer is real but also like colorism is real and there's a lot of nuances there but like I think when I was there because I was like a lot more tan than everybody else there like people would assume that I'm from like Vietnam or like Thailand or like more like Southeast Asia.
Right.
And like I guess like and my Chinese is like fine, but it because my dad is like from China and my mom's from Taiwan. So like my accent is like people in Taiwan will think I'm from mainland sometimes, and then people in mainland China might think that I'm from Taiwan. So it's like very I don't
Right.
know.
So you're always like bouncing, like feeling disconnected, essentially.
Yeah, but definitely in America, I definitely seem very Chinese and very Taiwanese because like my parents like taught me Chinese from a young age and like I watched all of the Chinese dramas, like historical dramas. So like it's definitely a very in between, I guess, experience. Um, but I will say like I might have dumbed it down a little bit in the film just because like I had to know some of the cultural references for her to mess up the cultural references. So it's
Right.
like maybe like the onion is like many layers and like I'm in a middle layer, but then I made her like maybe a little bit above that layer so that I
Yeah.
could write it because it would be really hard to write something that's like even I didn't
No,
understand.
totally.
Yeah.
Did your mom help you at all during the process? I know she talked a lot about how you wrote the script in a week, right?
Yeah.
He was
It
like
was like
fascinated with that fact,
I think it was like
which is
I
amazing.
had the base of her script. And so like I knew like I was picking which scenes to like rewrite. Like there's three scenes from her script that I rewrote and then the rest were like kind of pieced in. I wrote most of the script by myself. I think the main I wrote all the descriptions and like scene headings in English and then the dialogue I wrote in Chinese because that way it would go faster. But I did have a lot of like I would mess up like grammar and like in Chinese there's a lot of like homonyms or homophones. I don't know. What are those? They
Yeah.
sound the same, but they mean different things.
Right.
And so like I would be using different words, and then she would read it. She'd be like, "Oh, that's the wrong word. Like you have to change that." So it was a lot of like, um, yeah, like syntax, grammar help from her. Um, yeah, but I was also struggling a lot. At first, it was gonna be an experimental film. It was gonna be documentary, and I was gonna like interview my family members.
Hmm.
But I think it's also like where my interest lies. Like I'm just much more interested in narrative film and like creating a plot and like a story. So then that ended up happening.
There's this description that they have of you on the Asian American International Film Festival site. I want to read it because this is super interesting to me. It says that you're interested in leveraging filmic architecture and exploring the tension and tenderness that define the human experience. How did you come to realize that this is a style of film that you wanted to explore?
I think everything always starts with the story. Like whatever like visual language you're using, the blocking you're talking to your actors about, really have to consider the story first. Like what is the relationship between the characters? What do they want in this? I guess I can use an example. The first scene between the director and the actor, where they're like outside, they first start sitting like left and right, like the director's here, but by the end they switch. And like the reason why like there's that blocking is because at first the director's very sure. It's also shot at a slight low angle, so she seems a little bit more, I don't know, like I'm the director,
Yeah.
right? But then like there's this line of questioning. They stand up, she like shows her stuff, but then the actor starts asking questions, and by the end of it, they're sitting down. They've switched places. The director's now questioning herself. So like that is a very subtle mise en scene. Not to use the film words here, but that's like a
Use
subtle mise
them.
en scene in that scene in the start, and then it happens not like the exact same way, but like I guess like I was this is like a very traditional like filmmaking because I didn't have like a big like handheld setup. Like I was really just using. I mean, you watched the film like tripod shots, just like still shots. Um, and I think when you're doing that, you do have to like maybe plan out each shot a little bit more because um, you don't have the moving camera or like the very cool like and I was also on camera and trying to watch the performances, so it was really hard to like if I want to do like a really like fancy dolly shot, but then like it's just like a bit difficult. But yeah, I already
Right.
forgot the question. I don't know. I'm like a little bit lost, but
No,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I guess I was really curious about like the tension and the tenderness between or in the human experience, and I really got that from her. I really felt like the director did like lose like the power of being a director in a sense, but also she gained the knowledge of like understanding herself better. So
Hmm.
I really appreciated that.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad that yeah. That actually means so much for me to hear from somebody else because sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if anything is being but yeah.
No, it was so good. And I feel like the second watch I was able to pick up on more of that. And yeah, I feel like filmmakers don't hear that sort of feedback enough. So I'm like so happy to deliver.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What other genres are inspiring you right now?
I keep telling people I want to write a romance, but it's actually so hard because I think like rom-coms and romances, there's so many tropes. And then it's
Right.
really hard to like subvert them or like make something a little bit different, but we'll
Right.
see. I
You
want to
know
write a
what? We're
romance.
struggling in the rom-com department. We need to see something
Yeah.
exciting, you know?
Have
So
you
I'm so here.
have you seen The Materialist?
Yeah.
Hmm. What are your thoughts on it? I know this is like not maybe not.
We can talk about it because I've been thinking about doing a deep dive like about it anyway. I feel like if it weren't marketed as this rom-com love triangle movie, maybe I would have
Mhm.
been a little bit more prepared for what I saw. But I just felt like the main character got everything that she wanted and then she gave it away without an explanation. I
I
didn't really
completely agree.
uh, whenever she was going through the issue that happened with her client, she didn't even tell Harry, like her rich boyfriend, about it. She just went
Mhm.
straight to the ex-boyfriend about it. I'm like, you're not even giving him these opportunities to like try to work with you. I felt like she genuinely broke up with him because he had leg surgery.
Yeah, wait, also that scene was hilarious. Like the way he like crouched down and I was like, is this actually happening right now? What is going on? Cuz
No.
wait, I don't know. Have you seen Past Lives by the same director?
Yeah, and I love.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I like sobbed in the theater while watching
I
that.
know.
It was
I
really good.
know.
So then like this movie is so different because it's
Right.
like almost the opposite choice of the main character. Because in the other one she went with the practical, not practical, but like the person who made sense for her life, like
Right.
the person she ended up marrying. But in this one she like completely reverses and it's like, why are you making this decision? I thought we established that you're a materialist. Like, isn't that in the title? Like,
And like you guys arguing about $25 in the middle of the streets of New York City, like I don't think you need to be together. It seems like there was no growth that happened. Like you live on your own and this person lives with roommates that he doesn't even like. I don't see how her life would have benefited from going backwards.
I mean, as somebody who is living in New York, did like it reminded me of Sex in the City in the interview
Hmm.
segments.
Yeah.
How do you think it like spoke to the you not the New York City dating scene? Like, do you think it's accurate?
I would say there's definitely a lot of materialists in New York. Yes. And
Okay.
I will also say living here, and now you live in LA too, so you'll see it a little bit more, like living in these really big prominent cities and like expensive cities, like those are things that kind of matter a little bit more. That changes like your well-being a little bit more, the way that you can just like experience things. So I would say yes,
Okay.
but I also feel like it was a bit exaggerated.
The first half, like I was seeing where it was going, but then once she broke up with that guy, I was like really confused. Also, the caveman scene was a little bit weird. I don't know. It
Yes,
reminded me of the Barbie movie, how that started.
yes. I think that they were just trying to say that, you know, back then cavemen really did marry for love, which I feel like is not true. I feel like they just married because they were in close proximity and they really didn't have anyone else like in their tribe nearby.
Isn't marriage like an institution made after caveman ship, a
Yes.
caveman era? I don't know.
Yes.
Hmm. They're just together, like.
I was disappointed. And I feel like if the marketing was geared towards what the movie was about, I would probably still
Mhm.
be disappointed, but less. So yeah. And I saw it twice.
You saw it twice in theaters?
Yeah.
I guess it's not out yet, but it was shot well. Like I really like some parts of it.
Mhm.
Like
It
some
was beautiful.
dialogue, especially the fight scene on the street, so realistic and like well acted. But then like it's unfortunately with most films, I think the problem always comes down to the script. Like, I
Yeah.
think the script wasn't fleshed out, especially in the third act.
There were just so many like whys. Like I didn't like understand their breakup at all. He literally was ready to give her
Yeah.
whatever she asked for.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm choosing Pedro Pascal in this situation. Yeah, I
He
don't
literally
know.
did nothing wrong. I liked him just as I liked him more like as he was her boyfriend than like before we
Yeah.
met him.
I and then like when they were in the park in the final scene, like she gets the call and she's like promoted to like dating officer, top officer person.
Right.
But like in order for it to make sense, like maybe they should have had that earlier. So then she's like, I am now financially so well off that I can choose love. But she made that decision with like no no like practical thinking, which like doesn't really
Yeah.
go with her character.
She was about to quit too, so we don't even know if she like took the position or quit. It's just like you're going backward.
Yeah, you're like, grow up.
But I'm still gonna watch everything Celine Song
Yeah,
directs
me
moving
too.
forward still.
I was like, I need to go see this. Asian American director, need to see. Yeah. Past Lives was so good.
I loved that side conversation. What is a skill you recently learned that helped emerge into your style as a writer?
Okay, so for my undergrad program, I was also an English major. So I wrote a like 50-page like kind of short story, medium story, maybe not short story, but and I had been reading a lot of Sally Rooney. I don't know if you've read any of her books. She's
Yes.
very popular. So it was the first time I had written something in like a very like omniscient and like kind of cold in a cold way. Because usually I write from a very close like third or like a first person. So like that was a very different writing experience. I don't know if it made it. I think it made some parts seem very cool. I don't know if it made it better, but I guess trying new writing style.
No, that definitely helps. Have you seen the movie Oh Hi?
No.
Okay,
Oh
that one's
hi.
in theaters. It's with
Okay.
Molly Gordon and Logan Lerman, our beloved Percy Jackson.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
That is a rom-com that I genuinely have never seen before, and it was really funny.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you what happens because I was actually really surprised with this story, but I saw that one twice also, which
Okay.
I loved it even more the second time.
It's in theaters right now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I want to see.
For streaming.
Have you seen there's this rom-com on Netflix called Straight Up.
No.
It's the writing is so good. And the person who wrote it, I think also acted in it.
I'm writing that down right now.
And it's about this like gay man who like questions his sexuality and thinks he might be straight, so then he gets a girlfriend. It's the premise is funny, like both actors are like really good. Yeah, I guess it's like loneliness versus partnership, but like not a perfect partnership.
Right. I feel like maybe that's what the materialists tried to do, like not perfect partnership. But I'm excited to see that from the straight up lens.
I've like watched it twice. I just think it's just like really funny.
I am going to watch that.
I love
What's
how
a
we're giving
major
each other movie recs. Oh, wait, sorry.
No, literally, no. I love movies so much, especially when it's like film festival like time. Speaking of, did you watch Mistress Dispeller at the film
I
festival?
did. Oh my god. My sister got so mad at that film. Or I guess
What?
that documentary because she just really hated the man for cheating. She just hates cheaters, which is like so fair. But like I was like, girl, it's like a documentary. Like they couldn't choose what happened at the end, like that she just
Truly.
stayed with him. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
I feel like that was the best documentary I've ever seen.
I have
It was
so many
so good.
questions. How did you make it? Like how did
That's
you
the
make
most
it?
asked question on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Like, how did you make this film? I was also very surprised that like the husband immediately just
Yeah.
said everything that was going on
He confessed.
immediately.
That scene
And
was
I
so
feel like
good
maybe
though.
it was. And
Yeah.
the end where they're all like sitting in the room and the wife and the mistress are like kind of like being territorial a little bit, but also like having a very adult conversation. I have
Yeah,
literally never seen communication like that in that type of setting. That movie was outstanding, and I cannot
it
wait
was
to stream
so
it. I
good.
hope we can stream it.
Yeah. I was like, I like lingered around for a little bit just to see if the filmmaker was there, but I don't think there was anybody from that team. But like, I had so many questions. It was just so like human in terms of like the like they didn't portray the third person in this relationship as like evil. Like it had so much
Right.
empathy for her. And like
Right.
that's very rare in like I think Chinese culture. Obviously like cheating is wrong and like you shouldn't, I don't know, betray your partner.
I feel like for me, it really shines a light on maybe I'm like experiencing with friends right now how they really prioritize like male, like
Don't
their
even get me
romantic.
started. This happens so often. I'm like, you say that it's bros before hoes, but then you get a boyfriend and it's over. It's
Yes, you're like
yeah.
literally crawling behind the man on your knees. I'm like, I don't get it. And it's weird because as those people have like girlfriends, they do like one small thing, like make one small mistake, and it's like, I'm done with you forever. But if a guy does like the grandest, like, I don't know, he does something outrageous, and she's just so forgiving. I'm really battling that in my life right now.
We should stop forgiving people.
But it goes back to like holding men accountable. Like she was just like, we never have to speak about it. I just want the mistress to go away and then all will be well in the world. And it's like, you're allowing him to evade responsibility.
Yeah. I guess like the ethics of it, like it's like I feel like somebody like American culture really values privacy, but I think like that's not as a big deal in China because it's more about like the collective outcome of something. Like
Really?
the way she was in like I think in America like people would have a lot more problems of her like disguising as different people and like not only like just in like private investigators are everywhere, but the way she was like meddling and like kind of manipulating the entire situation is like very like Asian auntie like trying to get everyone on page with the same thing. So like I think like that was a very interesting like take on like I guess like Chinese culture and kind of like ideology around. I don't know if you've seen The Farewell with Aquafina,
No, I haven't.
but it's
Is
this
it a comedy?
it has funny moments, but it's like a drama. So basically, the grandma in
Wow,
the family
okay.
is about to die, and like the whole family agrees on not to tell her because it's like for the best. And like that's like a very common like I guess like kind of belief of like the community around you will know what is best for you. And like
Mm,
I'm not saying like which one is worse to like, but I'm just saying like there's a
right.
bit of a difference in the culture.
Yeah.
And I think Mistress Dispeller kind of like showed that in like a very specific way.
Right. I'm actually happy to have learned that because I wouldn't have known, which is why I was so surprised that the husband was just so open about his affair immediately. Like I thought he would have been more private, but maybe that's just because like I have lived in America my whole life and this is all I've seen is like men especially are super private. But
I think he
also
was
like he
still
probably
very
has.
quick to confess. I will say. I
Yes.
think like there's still some,
Oh.
yeah, but I don't know.
Men don't really like have friends that they have deep conversations with. So I'm like, maybe this is his only outlet to really let it out like that.
Yeah, male loneliness epidemic all over the world.
And they're not lonely enough because his wife did not care that he cheated.
Oh God. Yeah.
Okay, what's a major lesson you learned from Stories of the Return? And it could be in as a filmmaker or as a storyteller or just being back home, like anything.
Um, I think that okay, before this project, I had made like one film or like maybe two films that I was like really proud of. I made so many films that I would not show anybody this day. And like I think what I really learned from that is like it's a lot easier to like at least I think in the film industry, I'm not even in the film industry, but like in the film
You
world,
totally
it's
are.
just like I'm like my toes are in. I'm like dipping my toes in. But I think it's so much it's easier to like just make something and just show people. Cuz like at the end of the day that's kind of what matters.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and like at my school, I think like making this film like led to a lot of different opportunities, and I think it was just like and like I had like done all of that with the help of like my sister and my mom, like made this whole project, and like I think that really impressed people because
Right.
like even if the film was not good, I like the film, but even if the
It
film
was
was not
good.
good, I think like I think that like the fact that you've completed a film is I don't know,
Yeah.
that's a miracle in itself. Like
Yeah.
I was carrying these hard drives back to the US and I was like so scared that I was going to lose them because if I lost them that's like everything. Everything that we
Right.
shot. And like my mom always tells the story when she was in grad school, the professor showed them like a really crappy film and everybody was like criticizing it, and then the professor was like, "Well, what is one good thing about it?" And then people were like still criticizing it, and he was like, "The fact that it's done, the fact that it's
Yeah.
complete is so important."
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
No, that's an amazing answer because I don't think people realize how much work it is. And you wore so many hats, as said. So, like, that it's a lot of work. How does making a film and showing it to so many people play with, like, being perceived to you?
oh god.
If it did.
Oh, it did for sure. I think like somebody after the New York screening asked my mom like, "Oh, like so you know how to do like the opera, right?" And my mom was like, "Oh no, that's just the character." So I think like one I guess like consequence of this film in particular is that it's a little bit it's pretty close to my life. So then I think people will start making assumptions of like this isn't, and like my relationship with my mom is very different from her relationship with her mom. There was a point in time where my parents were not. They wanted me to do something a bit more practical for my career, but they've come around. So it's like it's
Right.
not a one for one.
I understand that. I love that we've had like 8 different conversations.
Yeah.
To the topic of you wearing a lot of hats for Stories of the Return, do you still feel a pull to foster all of these skills as you progress as a filmmaker? And not to do them all at once, but just to understand and know them.
I mean, I'm only 22, so like I have time. However,
Yeah.
usually when I'm doing these roles, it's all for like a script that I wrote or a story that I'm interested in. So
Right.
I'm interested in trying any of these roles before somebody else's project in Vision, because I think that'll teach me a lot about I don't know how to like accommodate that and like help somebody else see their vision to an end. Because like I know very clearly like what I want for my story, but I also do think like the pro of wearing a lot of hats for my own film is like I could coordinate everything very easily. It's like very like streamlined process. Like I don't need to go ask myself. I don't need to go ask
Yes.
somebody else to do something a certain way. I already know how I'm gonna shoot it. But yeah, I definitely want to continue directing and camera kind of editing. Yes, I have a love hate relationship with editing. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know you also edit videos. It's like so solo like compared to everything else,
Right.
but it's like you have so much control over the product.
Right. I totally understand you there. Alrighty. Last question. What should people keep an eye out for from you, and where can they find you?
Um, they can find me in LA. I'm living on campus at USC, so if you're at USC, hit me up. But I don't. I think I'm working on a script right now, and it's hopefully will be under 10 minutes. I don't know. My projects end up running long usually, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at like shorter form. Short films are so hard to write. I think like
Yes.
really hard to develop characters and like it's just a lot harder. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to shoot because it's shorter, but yeah. Trying to write a script, and then I think this semester will be very chill. Like I'm taking film ethics, I'm taking film like aesthetics class, so it's not gonna be as much production, like producing kind of time. But next semester, I think there's like we have to make 3 films, so there will be 3 short films.
Like feature, short, or it's like both?
I think short. I don't know if there's a time limit. I hope it's not like 5, because 5 is really short. But like, hopefully, like, yeah, just a couple short films coming out. The USC system is like you are in a group of 3, and then one person produces, one person directs, and then one person edits, and then you rotate. So you're with the same group for 3 different films. So there will be that.
I feel like working alone, which you do a lot of stuff on your own too, I'm worried about, maybe worried is the wrong word, but I don't collaborate with people very much. So when I do have to collaborate, I wonder what something like that will look like for me. Do you wonder that?
For sure. I'm so scared. I guess like I'm
Yeah.
hoping that like my group of 3 will be like, I don't know, people who really want to be there and are like very passionate. I'm
True.
sure they all. I mean, I would hope so. You're paying a lot of money to be here, so it would be a waste if you're not like driven. Um, but yeah, I guess I'm also excited to finally like have somebody else do things. But it is like gonna be a huge like learning to trust people in a creative sense, because I think
Yeah,
like I have I have big problems with that.
me
Um,
too.
I just like want to like I want to like control everything, but
Yeah.
it's not good for you mentally. It's not, and it's also not good for the project itself, because actually like letting go and letting other people influence you is the best thing you can do. Sometimes I had a studio art like thesis show, so it's like an art installation, and like that was like taught me so much about letting go. I was like low key like crashing out. Oh, I sound like a Gen Z. I was crashing out though, because the 2 people I was working with, they were very like intuitive, or like free form. They liked like not doing things last minute, but letting the ideas come to them instead of like planning it out super rigorously. And I'm a
Right.
filmmaker, so I'm drawing storyboards, I'm making plans. So like it was working with people who were had a different workflow than I did, and it was super stressful. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope that the other film students are a little bit more like, I don't know, um, I guess type A, but
Right.
I think also just yeah, like letting go of creative control sometimes.
Same. That's me too. Do you want to share your Instagram or anything? We can totally drop that
Oh
here.
yeah, it's at Jojolina. um, over here, you can put it here. Uh, yeah, is this going on YouTube? Do you have a YouTube channel, or is it just
Yeah.
okay? Oh, I'm so
YouTube and
scared.
Substack.
Okay.
Did you say you're
Awesome.
scared?
I'm scared. My digital footprint.